Okay, so I thought it might be interesting to kind of show you what I've mentioned several times before. Um, I did not watch even, I think, even half of what Curtis's 3 hour thing was, but I do remember people in the comments trying to say, "Oh, so you think this painting is based on the daguerreotype, but like influenced, but like Frederick sat down and was painted?" I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But I did state before that I thought the nose, I mean, doesn't match the death mask at all. But I've seen a picture of Joseph Smith III, not Frederick, whose nose is really, really long. And Locke Mackay did state last December, almost a year ago, in his little slideshow thing that he, again, they shine a black light on this exact painting that I took a photo of right here. This is the authentic oil painting. He thinks it's done by David Rogers. So do most experts that actually spend the time to look at all of the sources and see how many times Joseph Smith III lines up with the statements by Junius F. Wells, who he put forth the word David Rogers, but Joseph Smith III's newspaper says, my dad was 36 when it was done, and this is the August 15th, 1879 St. Herald newspaper, not long after he had this photographed and sent to Library of Congress. Anyway, I'll just show you this picture of Joseph Smith III. Really, really long nose, but the tip of the nose, the tip height is very, very low. That'll make the nose line up lower. Just look at Hiram Smith's own paint, his forward-facing painting. That is from life. It's him. Everyone knows it's him. It's good. Look at the Joe Smith papers. And then his death mask, obviously his nose is messed up, but the tip of the nose is really low on the death mask and in the painting that was obviously done before he died. So, whatever. So I'll just show you how it does line. This does line up really well with the painting. The nose does. So it makes me wonder, as he's using his dad's daguerreotype, which is probably really oxidized. Like, this is his own daguerreotype. Like, it's really, really well, very, very oxidized. But these daguerreotypes were super high DPI, though. They just got super damaged very, very easily. So, and they lived off of the Mississippi River. So the length of the nose is like about perfect. So, Joe Smith the third nose. Okay. Didn't use my inhaler today. Sorry, I don't always think to use my inhaler. I'm going to drink some water. I had a rescue inhaler for years, but after COVID, they started giving me like a daily use inhaler because it was like I was using the rescue inhaler like all the time. And sometimes it throws a powder and it makes me kind of sick when I use it. Like I'll throw up easily and a lot. That's been happening since I was prescribed that over 2 years ago. Not that you guys need to know that. So that's why I didn't use it today. Or the rescue inhaler. I'm still going to make this video, but I'm going to go ahead and just bring opacity of Joseph Smith III's nose all the way back up. And you see how we can hardly see his nostrils at all. And they look super far apart. But obviously, this is not how big the nostril is, you know. I just still think it's hilarious that, I don't know, whatever. People are funny, and I won't say who or why, but that's how long his nose is, and it lines up really well. Like really, really well with the painting. So I wonder if they painted over. And they're like, wait, the nose is not long enough. Looking at you, let's look at a photo of you. Because your photo of your dad is crap. It's turning black. We can really see it. And someone has a clear cut physique that we kind of forgot about or didn't know, right? He finds the daguerreotype in 1885. And Emma goes and gets it made when she runs in town and, in Georgetown, on her way to Plano, because they didn't go by train, I guess, in 1869. So Joseph Smith with David Hiram, I guess she took like the roads and like actually just went in a wagon and took her time over there. I don't know how long that would have taken them. Train would have literally been a day trip for sure, just going from Nauvoo to Plano. She kept talking about the train, but she just needed to go on the roads to get to a city that was a little bit of a travel, and then there was a train. But anyway, yeah. So a tiny, tiny little daguerreotype, but they might have been like looking at Joseph Smith III and been, well, I don't know. Let's maybe try to make the nose look more like your dad's. Maybe David Rogers is just, because when Joseph Smith saw it, he didn't think it was like a great likeness of himself. But the painting itself, when we look at the death mask though, you can see the nose always, it's drastically shorter. So it's so funny. I don't like Frederick's nose. The person whose nose really matches the death mask in my photo is Frederick G. Williams' own picture. I might be able to, hopefully it doesn't pull up anything weird. I might be able to throw him in here. Let's see. So we can pull up the sunset is. Okay. So I can put Frederick. Keep wanting to say Frederick G. Williams. Frederick Granger Smith, I think, was his middle name. So they all got, a lot of them got middle names, but see his nose, how that lines up. And so we can just, and it takes a while to do this in Photoshop, and it's a little bit difficult. It is, like I was saying the other day, if anyone watches, I don't know if anyone watched that video. But I did one where I was using the app Procreate, and it was a really long video, just talking about stuff. The shape of his mouth especially is so different. But you can already see, like, it's not totally lined up yet, but his nose is a lot shorter. So much shorter. So we're trying to line him up with the painting. And his head is tilted a little bit, so try to get his nostrils like lined up. So we do that. And you can see those are the painting's nostrils. There are his nostrils. It's different. But when you put his picture and the picture that I have, you can see his nose really lines up very well with his dad's. Except we need to make it even a little bit bigger. the mouth lined up there. Okay, how much of a head tilt does he have? His head is still tilted. His nose, his eyes are... He had quite a bit of a head tilt. I don't think his eyes are super level. A lot of people's eyes just aren't level. A lot of people's faces are asymmetrical. I think that's pretty good. It's hard. Okay, their noses. So basically their bone structure is very similar. Except I think Frederick's jawline, out of all the boys, a very, very strong, muscular jaw. Whereas his other brothers had much longer faces. And so his chin, see, his cheekbones are very, very pronounced. And then it's just this angle like this, which is seen in all of the artwork of Joseph Smith, from the painting to just, you can see that angle. But it has that shape. And obviously the death mask captures that, even though it doesn't go to his jawline. It captures that shape. So, anyway, I just thought that'd be interesting. So let's bring back Frederick. Basically half opacity. You can see his nose is a lot higher. I'd moved him around. I'll move him back around to match up with the painting, but yeah, I don't think he was used for the painting. But yeah, they might have used a lot of it. I mean, Joseph Smith III is the one's commissioning it, and they're looking at his nose and trying to make the painting better, because they know Joseph Smith was like, it's pretty good, it's all right. It makes me look like a silly boy, makes me look younger, and I think it goes with the hairline. And just the different death masks. They all can look so different on my picture as far as the hairline and everything. Just even doing that, you can see the width of this death mask is different than that right there. But it's just things being at a slight angle. And I actually think that when I took my photo of that death mask, when I did my analysis the other day, I was thinking it might have been a little too... Well, I don't think I was using this photo either. I don't know. I can just kind of tell sometimes when I look at different photos of the death mask. It's the same object, different lens, different angle. One's wider, one's more narrow. So that's just camera distortion. But there's some things that you can still just a straight on flat, like this is a straight on flat photo. And this is a straight on flat photo of Frederick. And Joseph Smith III. And I think he looks so much like his dad, in my opinion. I think they look a lot alike. But, his nose is just a lot longer. It just is. And his eyes are more level. But I just don't think he was getting beat up like his dad. But the hairline, interestingly enough, especially him, and if you put David Hiram Smith's picture on top of my photo, the hairline just really matches. You're just not thinking, oh, he looks so bald. It's really this whole area on the side that's a little crazy, but it, some of Maudsley's artwork, the blacktop hat painting, you really can see it's the one side of his head, because sometimes that painting's facing the other way. So if you know who owns that painting, contact me. I don't know who owns it. I asked, someone told me it was John Hyacek, and I asked him, and he told me it was the Pioneer Memorial Museum in Salt Lake City, and I went there, and they're like, we don't have that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna walk around and look for it, and I just didn't. It wasn't there, but they had some other, tins of some of Maudsley's work and stuff like that. But I remember taking a photo of that, and I'd asked permission because it was right above the vest, and they were like, oh, sure, it's your own photo, your own camera, it's fine. And I showed them evidence I was working on a paper, so they knew. Told them what university, and filled out paperwork, got permission to use my own photography of the vest on my website. Yeah. Yeah, the shape of their eyebrows, kind of incredible. So we got that one eye lined up really well. So I think he's sort of, even though his eyes are darker, his eyes don't, and they're a little bit more sunken in. But it's so interesting that this one eye has that sharp angle, but this is more smooth. I don't know. It's interesting. So in some ways, he has some similar unique traits of his dad, I think. But, but he's got to be like 22 or something. He looks really young, but his hairline, so similar. I can go ahead and just put David in here too. Place embedded. It takes so long to line these things up in Photoshop. But super, like, you can see as a baby, his forehead was really big. And if that just slightly retreats, it's a lot of forehead there. So I don't know. That's pretty good. And his head is tilted a little different, but you can compare his hairline with his dad's. I think this is his dad. And people are saying that he's 16 here. But he's got that really, really high forehead. And maybe it started receding again. Male pattern baldness can start happening at a young age too. Alopecia can happen. He had a lot of emotional problems, so stress like that could cause your hair to fall out. We know Joseph Smith definitely had a lot of emotions, a lot of stress, a lot of hair ripped out, hair coming out because of poisoning. He talked about hair loss in the mid 1832, summer of 1832. So in the spring, he said it gets ripped out, and then it said by poison, it really basically just started falling out in clumps, like he was just losing a ton of his hair. And the retreating forehead statement, Machi said, "Oh, that's the receding hairline." You know, and some woman's like, oh, hairline does not retreat; it recedes, but it's commonly they're synonymous. They use that word in England today commonly in articles today. Retreating hairline, but even retreating forehead comes up as a receding hairline. So that's what it is. It happened. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired of talking about that. But the face and like the nose, the mouth, the chin, everything matches really well. Just when I trace the death mask's hairline and throw it on here, it matches really well. Like super, super well. Yeah, I think this picture of the death mask looks a little like it's more coming from below than that one. So I think when I was doing my analysis, yeah. See that? So when I was using the app Procreate, I think I was using this photo. And you see how the hairline, the forehead looks longer, shorter, longer, shorter. You know, just different photos taken. Like this might even be taken with my cell phone. Or this might be with the camera. This might be with the cell phone. I don't know. But that is camera distortion. Have a good day.